Hi everyone, thank you very much Nadia for this introduction. I will briefly introduce myself. So I'm Vanessa Deweer, as Nadia was saying. I'm the International Office Manager of the IUT Institute of Technology Montpelier set. So I will give you the perspective of internationalization at home that has been implemented in our institute. Just before to give you the context, I will briefly present you what our IUT is and what has changed in the past years in our IUT. So we are, as I was saying, an institute of technology delivering only undergraduate programs. Until next year, we delivered only 2 years degree program called a DUT. And we switched as of this year, September 2021, to a 3-year degree program that is now called BUT, Bachelor of Technology. Programs basically remains the same. It's a mixture between a balance between theory and practice for students, and the aim is to allow students to access the job market directly after the 3 years, or if they wish to continue their studies in master's degree at the university or in business schools or in engineering schools. We have different fields of studies, 8 departments, both in science, so chemistry, biology, computer science, for example, or also in business and administration and marketing, so present in different fields. If we now focus on what is interesting for us today, meaning the internationalization, the IUT has been for many years very, very active on the international level. We have a very strong international mobility, meaning that 10% of our students have physical international experience, mainly for practice abroad, mainly for the science sector, students in chemistry, biology, computer science, etc. And also in study mobility, more for the business part of our students. We do host international students at the IUT, but we noticed for quite a few years a still significant imbalance between our outgoing and incoming students. We send students abroad much more than we receive international students, because we don't offer many classes in English, what international students are looking for. So we have been working for many years, almost 5 years now, on improving our course offer in English. This has been quite of a challenge, so we knew there was something we had to do to either increase those classes in English, either find other way to attract international students. So with this analysis, there were mainly 3 points that we worked on. The first being that we switched our programs 2 years ago. Well, we started 2 years ago from our 2 years degree program, the DUT, to the 3 years that started this year, the BUT. It's important to know that the IUT Montpellier set belongs to the University of Montpellier. It's one of the institute faculty of the university. It also belongs to a national network of Institute of Technologies. This network is called the IUT, and our programs are designed at the national level. So a Bachelor of Technology in Chemistry in Montpellier would be the same as a bachelor degree in Strasbourg, for example. At the national network, when they designed and thought the new program, the BUT, they wanted to implement a competency-based approach on different criteria. One of the important competencies that they wanted to implement in those competencies, wider thought of the BUT, is the international competencies, meaning that in this new program, the BUT at the moment, students are assessed on a different range of competencies, and the international competencies should be one of them. And I will discuss about it a bit later. The other point that we discussed and thought about is that in the past years, the University of Montpellier, and I think it's you will have a more deeper presentation in the program later. The University of Montpellier has received the label Bienvenue en France, that is focusing on welcoming the quality of what is implemented to host and welcome international students and improve the attractiveness of the university to international students. And third, we, with the IUT, so the national network, wanted to develop innovative teaching methods. From this analysis, our representative and part of the direction thought about creating a learning lab that would be specialized for international activities. So this learning happens. It's called International Laboratory for Learning. That's a project that started 2 years ago that is being implemented. It takes quite a time to build and develop activities. And there are different objectives in this learning lab. The first is to opening up students to others, getting an intercultural sensitivity, understand differences, develop skills, foreign languages, teamwork, job search, for example, or communication, and also prepare to an international future, either during their studies or after their studies. In this learning lab are planned activities such as support for taking classes, English taught classes, so support for students, but also students for professors to develop classes taught in English. Develop projects in collaboration with foreign partners, so meaning that our students are very mobile, so they go abroad, yet not all our students go abroad. And we thought about developing projects that could be implemented during classes here at the IUT in partnership with other universities, such as core project, for example, or other hybrids or virtual projects. There are included also discussion groups in foreign languages, organization of events, cultural debates, hosting foreign partners for conferences in English, for example, or even workshops to develop transversal competencies. Other sort of activities would be designing English classes, so mainly focused and targeting teachers, supporting professors for writing their content in English, and organizes conferences on international relations targeting our teaching staff. That's a long-term project. It's a real venue of 100 meters square. That's, you can see here on pictures, it has been finished last year. So it's very brand new. It's right in front of our cafeteria. The aim was to be visible and that students could really see it because they all go to the cafeteria, so they couldn't miss it. Now I will focus on what worked, what didn't work, and what we should do now to improve it. So since last year, we have organized many cultural events in this venue, both for students and staff. We have a current event that we organize almost every week that is called Open Teen, and we invite our international students, but also our international staff to present their international experience, how it has been for them to arrive in France, what what was the cultural shock, how their country is back home. And so we can invite all either student or staff from the university. It's widely open. We started collaborating with a local association in Montpellier that is called Maison de l'Europe, the House of Europe, to propose cultural events focusing on the European Union. So we've organized, for example, an escape game. We've organized an exhibition on the different European programs. And next week we'll organize European debates. So debates in English on the future of the European Union. And last, we have motivated students on projects and for promoting the IUT and this new program, the BUT in English. So recently they have all students from all departments. Some students from all departments have worked on a video to describe the BUT in English to international students. We have we added subtitle in French to those videos, and it was a sort of a note for us because usually we make videos in French and we add subtitles in English. So we wanted to kind of switch to show something else. So this worked quite well. Also, we faced more obstacles as well. And as you can see on the PowerPoint presentation, we actually faced more obstacles than we had achievements. First of all, as I was saying, the venue, the space was launched and ready last year. And as we are all talking about in times of COVID, it was quite of a challenge because at that moment, students were mainly working and studying from home. There were a very few number of students on site at the IUT, and we couldn't really organize on-site activities. So all in all, it has enabled us to really prepare ourselves and make sure everything was ready for this September when students actually came back. Another obstacle that we faced is materials, because this venue, this learning lab, was designed to offer new ways of learning, innovative learning methods, including innovative technology such as connecting screen, virtual headsets, etc., etc. That's a material that we received and couldn't manage, couldn't really use ourselves. First, in terms of technology, the network, for example, was not ready yet to have the screen really working and connecting with each other. On the other hand, the virtual headset is a wonderful tool to go in another country, for example, but even today, all we can do with it is going to the zoo because there is a zoo application. So we really need to work on it. And last, as from September, we organized activities for students on site. But even though we had activities every week, we realized that our students had classes from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening. The only free time they had was at lunchtime. So we organized and focused our activities on lunchtime. Yet we really realized it was really complicated for us to involve international students, international or local, to take part in extracurricular activities, because it was their lunchtime, so they didn't really want to have an activity during lunchtime. They wanted to eat, and I can understand that. And also, it wasn't valorized. So they would come in for lunchtime on their personal time, but they would not have a grade, for example. So it wouldn't be interesting. So we had many activities. We didn't have as many students as we thought we would have. And we are also still working on some ideas. Also, involving, as it was difficult to involve students, it was also difficult to involve the teaching staff because on the physical, first in terms of geography, the IUT is quite a big campus, and each department has their own building, meaning that teachers come to the IUT, go on their building, in their buildings, and go back home. Whereas the learning lab is in the central office, central building. So we had difficulties to have the teachers come to the learning lab, and having the learning lab actually known. A lot of professors still don't know about it because they don't come in the building where it is. And last but not least, as I was saying, students within this BUT need to work on their international competencies. But actually, what are really international competencies? That's not something we have precisely defined yet. International competencies can mean a lot of things. We are currently working with a team of 4 on this learning lab, and international competencies mean something very different to us 4. For some, it's more about language development. For some others, it's more about practical skills. For some, it's more a human connection. So it's still a program and a definition under construction. What it means for now, what we need to do now, we have a full-time academic coordinator dedicated to this venue, who is amongst us today. And her job is to help us with our team to design and implement international competencies. It means discussing in depth on the definition of what it is, international competencies, and once we will know and define it for us what it is, we will link it to specific activities. With those specific activities, because we have difficulties to involve students outside their studies, we want to develop and implement those activities, international activities, within their curriculum through a system of badges that could vary each student that take part in international activities. For example, one of students would take one activity in the first semester, he will receive a badge. Another will take an activity during 3 semesters, he will get 3 badges. So it will, even though they would not have a real grade for their studies, they would have something to valorize on their CV. And last but not least, we need to work on the venue communication, and mainly toward the teaching staff, because we think if teachers are involved, students will be. If teachers come to the venue, the students will know it and will get interested to the activities that are offered. So that's the work that we are now focusing on, and that I hope we will be developing more and more in the future. And so that's for my presentation. If you want more information, just in case, you can find more on our website and the pictures as well. And I'm here to answer questions if you have.